But my question to you guys is this, right? And I'll let anyone come in on this. Eze, I still don't think he's a left winger. So I need Eze and the left winger coming into this football club, which means we're going to have to sell players and we're going to have to look at, whereabouts we see it. Now, I don't believe this manager looks at Madueke as our left winger. I hope he doesn't. If he does, I'm going to have some problems. But if it is that he's coming in for Saka as cover, great. Eze, Ødegaard cover, great. We've got Ethan and Max coming through, great. What do we do on the left-hand side? Because Eze, for me, I don't think he's a winger. And the Palace guys in the chat will be laughing if we bring in Eze on the left. They said it's a disaster. He can come on play there for a bit and he might do cut in nicely and take a shot. But he's a creative midfield 10 or an attacking 8. He ain't a winger. He's someone that can do a job out there if someone's injured. So, yeah, I mean, Caden there, Eze is far from an actual left winger. If you get Eze, you're going to need a left winger as well. I agree with this. I totally agree. So what do we think as a panel, man?
I agree with you, Dan. I think there's two players I'll take ahead of Eze, not because of quality necessarily, but just because of what we need, which is obviously Rafa Leao and Rodrigo. Now, I don't know if any of those two are attainable. I don't know if either of those two want to join Arsenal. We don't know if either of those two necessarily yet want to leave their clubs. There's talk about Rodrigo. He might stay at Real Madrid. He wants to stay at Real Madrid, but maybe they want to sell him. We don't know what way round it is. We don't know the answers yet. We'll probably find out in August. And Leao, I don't think is attainable. He's Milan's best player by far. Apart from Leao, Milan don't have... This is AC Milan we're talking about. They don't really have any real big name. We played Milan the other day. Apart from Tomori, Loftus-Cheek, Leao, I was looking around AC Milan thinking, is this AC Milan? Yeah. At one point where they were... So I don't see them letting Leao go. And in terms of Eze, I love him as a player, but it is that. I think, like we've all said, that the glaring problem at Arsenal right now is a left winger. I think in that first game, it was telling that Reece Nelson came on the pitch and was better than both of them. And he's the guy who's third choice and is probably going to go. And look, I've said before that I have faith in Martinelli, or I wanted to have faith in Martinelli. It's slowly... I don't like saying it because I loved him as a player when he came through. I thought he was brilliant, and I think we all did, to be honest. And I think that faith. I still
do. Present tense.
Fair, but I still don't think you can deny that he's not the player he was. And look, there's an argument that it is system based. When Xhaka was in the team, he was flourishing more. I know people say since Havertz has come in, it's kind of stunted him a little bit. Maybe with Gyökeres in the team, with Rice in the 8, but these are still questions. I need a guy that's going to play on the left, and it doesn't matter who's behind him, doesn't matter who's in the middle, doesn't matter who's in the left 8. He's gonna flourish, because I know Saka. When you take Ben White out of the team, you put Timber in, he doesn't change. Do you know what I mean? When you take Odegaard out and you put Nwaneri in the team, it doesn't change. When you take whoever out up front and you put whoever in up front, he doesn't change. He still shows his quality, and that's the player I want out of Martinelli. So if he can't be that player, that you move one or two pieces around him, and all of a sudden he's doing nothing, then you've got to move on from that. But yeah, look, I'm still hopeful that he can get back to that. I think my preference would be bring in a left winger like a Rodrigo or a Leao or whoever it might be, and make Martinelli the number 2. I know that might not be feasible if we need to raise funds, because he is the one that's looking like you could get, 45, 50, 60 million for him. And what are we going to get for Trossard? 15 or 20. So yeah, there's a question there. It's a question for the board as well, because it might not even be Arteta. I think if Arteta had the choice, he would definitely keep Martinelli over Trossard, just because of the age, because of the potential, because of what they've shown. But if the board says we need to raise 50 million if you want to bring in another left winger, then you're kind of forced to sell Martinelli.
Yeah. Do you know what as well? Yeah, with our left-hand side, I think there's one word that summarises it perfectly: stale. It's so stale, Martinelli and Trossard. It's mould from head to toe on both of them. It's just ridiculous. One of them needs to go. And do you know what worries me more is, whether you believe Sky Sports or not, I see it earlier, that Borussia Dortmund were in for Trossard and we don't want to sell him. So it's just like, well, we're knocking on the door of spending 200 million. You've got to sell someone. You've got to start selling someone. And I do somewhat appreciate the fact that you get to a point like 200 million. All we've done in terms of sales and finances is rip up Tomiyasu's contract. Why have we still got Vieira, albeit links, maybe even just why's Vieira still here? It's the 30th of July, not the 30th of June. Do you know what I mean? Like, what we're still doing here 2 months in, and we've only ripped up Tommy's contract. What about Reece Nelson? Why is he still here? Kivior, what's he doing? His stock won't be probably as high as it will be in his Arsenal career due to his decent finish towards the end of the season. Once the boys get back fit, he probably ain't going to come back in play. So next season or in January, he's probably not going to be sold for as much now as right now. This is the time to sell him. Why is he still here? Why, you know what I mean? Why have we got 4 or 5 players? Why is Zinchenko still here? Well, he's on 150 grand a week. That's why he's still here. We need to start selling someone. And that left side, we know, all of us know on this panel, without shadow of a doubt, all of this chat, smash the likes. We all know that one of them was going to have to go. Without shadow of a doubt, Trossard or Martinelli. And it's worrying for me when we're that horrendous at selling anyway. We're in August in 2 days. We haven't sold anyone yet. And we're apparently, whether you believe the rumours or not, saying no to a Trossard bid. It's just a bit worrying for me, a bit frustrating. Not worrying, but it's frustrating.
Yeah, no, I agree. I've said it all along. We need to release players from this team, 100%. With the Eze, I'm fed up now of people saying that Eze, bringing him on the left-hand side, and Eze it has to stop. Eze's not a left winger. It's clear as day. If Eze comes in, he plays in the 10. Simple as that. This football team has been lacking creativity now for quite some time, and Eze completes Gyökeres. If this team doesn't get creative,
that means dropping Odegaard, DJ.
Yeah, well,
he ain't going to do
Odegaard. Look at Odegaard last season. Well, this is where the manager comes into play. Then the manager's got to now earn his money and be a bit braver, and he's got to start taking chances. You know, it's no good sticking now to the same system, the same players. He has to take chances. He has to mix it up a little bit. None of this, oh, well, you're my captain, you play every week. I mean, getting back to Ranieri, he was watching Odegaard drop stinker after stinker after stinker after stinker, and he's still sitting there. At one point, he was watching Tierney play on the right-hand side. I mean, this is what this manager does. It's craziness. If Eze comes in, he needs to start. Simple as that. Not on the left. He needs to start, and it completes Gyökeres. Because if this team doesn't change the way it plays and gets creative, Gyökeres, what we're all gassing up about and we're all excited about, me included, will start to look very ordinary. We see it with Harry Kane at Spurs when the creativity dried up with there. We see it with Harry Kane with England when there's a lack of creativity in the team. He starts dropping deep. He starts to come on the halfway line. He starts going out left. Starts dropping into midfield, picking the ball up, trying to make things happen. I don't want Gyökeres doing all this madness. I want him there in one position to score goals, what he's good at. And if we don't get creative in this team, that's what's going to happen. So for me, Eze's a must. The left-hand side's a problem all along it. Skelly is going to get found out on certain games because he's still learning his trade at left-back. Skelly's a midfield player. He's been brainwashed that he's a left-back because that's the only position he's been played in. But he's not a left-back. His natural position is midfield. That's why when we see him live, Dan, we see him go into midfield in certain situations, and then a diagonal ball gets played out wide, and it's one cross in, and they're in with a goal. So these are the problems we've been facing in this team. The left-hand side needs addressing, and it's been needing addressing for quite some time. We said at the end of the season and during the season, we need 6 or 7 players. At one point we was talking about a rebuild, and it wasn't a rebuild; it's a retool, according to some people. But at the end of the day, we were saying we need 6 or 7 players. You know, to make this team great, we still need that sort of level. We haven't really replaced with the only upgrade we've had in this team is Gyökeres. He's the only out and out outstanding upgrade that we've had and that's an upgrade on Havertz. That's no upgrade on like Aubameyang and stuff like that. That's an upgrade on Havertz. So what I'm trying to say is, Dan, we're still short. To go and be a serious contender in the Champions League and Premiership, we are still short. So bringing in Eze is a must. And then once the players are in place, the manager then starts to need to look at himself and start asking questions. Am I brave enough to make the changes? Am I brave enough to do the right things? Am I brave enough to mix it up a little bit? None of this long throw-ins and pumping the ball 30 yards long in semi-finals of Champions Leagues. All this nonsense has got to stop. he's got to be a lot more braver in certain situations. So
well, let me ask this then, right, to the panel, right? It's kind of two questions, I suppose. If Eze comes in, 68 M's, let's say it is, we release the clause, whatever we're going to get him for, it's going to be a lot of money, right? Who plays on the left-hand side? We've got Martinelli, Trossard's going to go, we believe, Eze, Madueke, or potentially someone else if there's someone else you believe. I actually don't know. Because I still feel like we need a left winger, but I don't know that we're going to get Eze, Madueke, Gyökeres, and a left winger. I just don't know that we're going to do that. But if we don't, and let's just say we don't have a Rodrigo or a Rafael Leao coming through the door, who's playing on the left wing?
Yeah, then before someone else comes in, don't be surprised if he don't put Gyökeres on the left and Havertz down the middle.
Oh, fuck. Fuck off, man.
Don't start throwing that into the big come on, brother. I love you, D. I love you, D.
I'm tongue in cheek there, guys. I'm tongue in cheek. But you was all laughing when Party went right back, though. I'm just saying.
Yeah, and Xhaka played left back, so you can never put it against
I honestly think he's not paid 52 million for Madueke to sit on the bench. I think Madueke could be playing on the left. That's me personally.
I agree.
I think we might go into the season not necessarily knowing. I know we all want to have an answer and we all want to be like, this is our starting 11. This is exactly what's going to start if everyone's fit. But I think we might have a situation. So you said if we sign Eze and Trossard goes, right?
Yeah.
I think we might have a situation where there's three of them that could start on the left, and it's going to have to be, I don't know, in Arteta's who's looked the best in training that week, who's kind of put their best foot forward to say I'm going to start left wing. I agree with DJ though, and I know Kenny said it, and most people have said it. £52 million for someone that's going to be a bench player doesn't quite seem like Arsenal business.
But my point, quickly, Christian, my point could be, bro, we could have, let's say it's 60 million for Eze, right? It'll probably be more than that, but let's just keep it simple. 60 million for Eze, over 50 for Madueke, and 65 for Havertz, and they could all be set on the bench.
That's where we need to be.
That's
we
what
do
we
need
want,
to
by the way.
be as a team. That's if we want to have a squad that wants to compete on all fronts and not be just in the mud as soon as we get 2, 3, 4 injuries to key players. That's where we need to be. We need to have quality on the bench. That's where I want to be as an Arsenal fan.
Yeah, but guys,
it's never been where we've been as Arsenal fans.
So that's one question though. One of the things is we're sugarcoating this. There's a massive shadow over this team, and that's called Kai Havertz. Because what do you do with Kai Havertz? We can't find a place for him in our first 11. Like if everyone's fit, because we bought Gyökeres, that's a number 9, straight down the middle. Left hand side, we don't particularly want him on the left hand side. The right hand side picks itself. The midfield, we think picks itself. So what? Because the biggest fear is that this manager will still shoehorn Kai into the team because he still places a lot of stock on his footballing ability, and he plays a lot of stock on him being tactically important. And if he's fully fit, that's the situation. Because you said, who does he play down the left-hand side? He's got the excuse that my guy Madueke is not fully fit, that he's had a big holiday. That first game of the season, I can still see, even though he's not in my first 11, I can still see Kai Havertz starting that game.
Where would he play? Left 8?
I think he'll find a place for him. He'll find a place for him within, the attacking midfield and the front three. I think deep down, I can't speak for all of you, but I think there's probably about 70% of this panel that thinks that he will be playing on that at 4:30 at Old Trafford. 70% of you must be thinking that.
I don't think he'll be playing.
He won't be in your teams, but because of the fact that Kai Havertz is has been his go-to man tactically.
I hope it becomes a plan B.
It wouldn't surprise me if Kai starts.
I hope it becomes a plan B. I hope if it's not going right, 65, 70 minutes, that's who we bring on. I've also said, I think I said it last week, or I said it on the watch along on Sunday. I know it can be annoying for strikers. I remember, I don't know if it was on this show, but Lacazette, there was a quote from him a few years ago when he was at Arsenal about being brought off as a striker 75th minute. That's when strikers want to be on the pitch, because that's when defenders start to get tired and you pick up positions. So if Gyökeres is coming off every game at 65, 70 minutes for Havertz, that's going to be frustrating for him, because that's when you want to get you get in positions, defenders get tired, you run them around the whole game, and then you get bought off, and Havertz gets bought on. That's not what you want as a striker.
Let's play this game. Let's play this game then. Let's play this little game here. First few games, we're going to be told that Gyökeres has got a bit of a knock, and that he needs to accumulate in Havertz for the first few games. Put your ass on it.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think that happens, Kenny. I don't think that happens, man. I really don't think that happens. If that happens,
I don't think it should happen. But the fact is, Kai Havertz is still at this football club, and I think he'll bring him on as a plan B, different dimension. I don't think it's for Gyökeres all the time. I think it could be as well as. But if he starts at Old Trafford, I'll be seriously questioning what the manager is thinking. I've got to be honest with you.
Do you know
that's going to happen? He's going to start Old Trafford. I think he starts at Old Trafford. I don't think he should. But
I don't think he does. I don't think he does. If Arteta starts Havertz, then he needs to sit down with a therapist, because you have all the necessary juice to get a win at Old Trafford. You got the element of Gyökeres turning down Man United. You got Gyökeres going against his former manager. You've got all the juice to get something out of Gyökeres in that game. There's no. There's no logical reason that Havertz starts, other than the fact that Gyökeres is only starting his preseason now.
Yeah. Do you know what's a good indicator? The good indicator is going to be how many minutes Gyökeres gets against Spurs and in the two games at the Emirates.
Yeah, because he's only getting his preseason now. He's only getting his preseason now.
If he don't play at Spurs or get silly minutes, and then plays half of the game against Villarreal, wherever it is, and then plays some minutes against Bilbao. We got the end. He ain't starting. He's not starting. Significant minutes. He has significant minutes in the next 3 games. 100%.